We're here in North Wales at our next job. This is going to be a kitchen, and then we're going to be taking down a bunch of the interior walls, really opening up the space, giving them a bigger kitchen space, and then we're going to be adding support in the basement to support the absence of that load-bearing wall. So we're going to put in a big beam, add some steel posts to the existing beam in the basement, and then start the kitchen.
We're back in North Wales at our kitchen job. Demo's done. We started some framing. We're about to put in a steel beam. Let's go inside and take a look. All right, we're inside. This is the area that we're going to be putting in a LVL beam and then steel post down to the beam below. So when we did the design for this project, we had an engineer come out. We wanted to open up this wall area here, as well as the left side, and just really open up the space for the clients. So in doing so, we're going to put in a big LVL beam, which is laminated wood. That's going to span the whole distance. Going to take the load to the second floor, and then we're going to post down to an existing steel beam below, and then we're adding steel posts and concrete piers in the basement to take that load. So through here, these are temporary walls. These are taking the load from upstairs while we put this beam in. Once the beam goes in, these walls get knocked out. Space is open, ready to go. All right, so these are the steel columns that we're installing that are going to support our new LVL beam. We have one set that goes from the basement floor where we're pouring the pier up to the existing steel beam. And then there's another set stacked directly on the steel beam that goes up to the beam that we're installing to hold the second floor. So these stay in the wall, and the one down in the basement gets encased in concrete and sits on a new footing below the slab. Let's go down to the basement and I'll show you what we were talking about with the concrete piers that we're putting in for those columns. Finally, when we pour the new pad, it'll come in, and you know what I mean, we can just hand chisel that out. Yeah. Exactly. Another one, tie that off. This is where we're putting the new piers for the steel columns. So we're going to dig this down a foot per the engineer, pour a square footing, and then we're going to let the column hang below the surface of the pad, and then we're going to pour concrete and encase the bottom of that column for load bearing purposes. So that column's going to go from the center of this up to here, support the steel beam, and then directly above it will be the second column supporting the LVL beam all the way up. That takes the load, and we're ready to put in the kitchen. All right, the new beam is in. This has been installed, and we took out the temporary wall, so now the new beam is taking the full load. And then we're doing electric today. High Tower Electric is here doing the rough-ins. Next up is inspections. Drywall's all done. We wrapped the beam here, patched in the ceiling. We're going to start spackling next, and then cabinets. With Chris is doing his thing, making the design come to life. The customer just mentioned yesterday that the design's taking shape and they can see the kitchen taking place right before their eyes. So cabinets are going in now, countertop template is coming up next, and then flooring. Columns have been poured here, and like we were explaining before, these are bolted to the underside of the existing steel beam to provide additional point loading support, and then those columns sit through the floor of the basement on a footing, and the concrete gets poured around them. So these are done. We're just cleaning up, moving upstairs. All right, we're back at our North Wales kitchen, and as you can see here, we're about done with spackling. We're going to be sanding out next, and then we have two walls that used to have wallpaper on them. Those are going to be skimmed out right before we go to paint. So drywall is just about complete. In the meantime, cabinets have been finished. We just have a few more pieces, the range hood and a couple other cabinets that Chris is working on. And countertops went in. You can see the countertops were installed. We just covered those up for protection while we got everything off the floors, because we just finished the floors as well. So we're doing several items at the same time, overlapping as best we can, just to consolidate the schedule of the project. So you can see the floors through here. The floors in the working space are all covered up with a hard cardboard covering. But that's the new floor throughout that room. That's the color that the client picked. So cabinets, floors, just finishing up spackle, moving into paint next, and after that will be backsplash. Last week here at the North Wales kitchen, and just in the last week or so, we went over finished plumbing, finished electrical. You'll see that the fixtures just went in. As well as that, the backsplash went in, was caulked and grouted, and final trim. So right now we're in the middle of paint, doing our last punch list visit and a couple little plumbing things, and that's it for this project. We're almost there. We replaced the customer's existing Dutch style doors with a set of French doors, custom stained those, and then Chris was able to take two cabinet handles, drill them out so we could use those as handles, because the customer really liked that detail. And then we swapped out with new oil rub bronze hinges, and this door is ready to go. Hi guys, we're here in North Wales kitchen, and we're just wrapping up this project. As you can see, we're just about finished here, just putting on the last touches. And if you remember from the beginning of the project where I just came in, this here was a closet, and then there was a dividing wall. So we put in that beam, opened up this whole space. Now it's one big space, and their kitchen is complete. The beam here that we put in took the place of that bearing wall. So now all that load is on the outside. You guys saw that as we did it. And then this whole space now is their kitchen, and it's open right into the dining room. So all one seamless space flows together, and it created space to have this large island for them, which is one of the focal pieces that they were looking for. So since we were here last, we installed the stone backsplash. So this was done, and then we did a color matching caulk at the countertop. That way we don't have any issues with cracking over time. That silicone will hold. It'll expand and contract with the difference between the countertops and the stone. On this project, we installed 2-zone under cabinet lighting. So this switch underneath here has a zone to turn on for underneath. You'll see those lights come on. And then also one for inside the cabinets to illuminate the interior. All right guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for following along with us, and we're really loving how this kitchen came out. I hope you do too.